There are 7 places in your home where storing money may quietly create stress, stagnation, and financial instability. 7 places you should never store money in your home. In this video, we will talk about 7 places in your home where you should avoid keeping money. Not because of fear or superstition, but because the space around your finances affects the energy of your mind, your relationship with security, and the way prosperity flows in your life. Welcome line. Welcome to Buddha's teachings. Please subscribe to follow the next topics. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Part 1. Why the place you keep money matters. Most people think of money in a very practical way. How much is in the bank? How much is in cash? How much comes in? How much goes out? How much needs to be saved? How much still needs to be paid? All of that matters, of course. But there is another dimension people often ignore: the relationship between money and consciousness. In Buddhist thought, the external and internal are deeply connected. The spaces we live in influence the mind more than we realize. A room can make the heart feel calm or anxious. A clean environment can support clarity. A neglected one can quietly feed heaviness, avoidance, confusion, and stress. The objects we keep, the order we maintain, and even the places where we hide valuable things can reflect our emotional state far more than we think. This includes money. Money is not only paper or numbers. It carries meaning, security, fear, control, possibility, attachment, worry, hope, responsibility. That is why the place where money is kept can subtly affect the way we relate to it. When money is stored in hidden, chaotic, polluted, unstable, or neglected spaces, the mind may begin to absorb the same energy. We may feel more financial fear, more disorganization, more impulsiveness, more insecurity, more confusion about what we have and how we use it. This does not mean the universe is punishing you because you put cash in the wrong drawer. It means your environment shapes your consciousness, and your consciousness shapes your financial life. If you hide money in a place that symbolizes fear, the mind connects money with fear. If you keep money in a place that symbolizes disorder, the mind connects money with disorder. If you put money where things decay, break, leak, or stagnate, then subconsciously, your relationship with money can begin to carry those same qualities. This is why mindfulness applies not only to meditation cushions and temples, but also to closets, drawers, shelves, entrances, bedrooms, workspaces, and all the practical details of daily life. A person may say, "It is just a hiding place," but often, a hiding place reveals far more than we think. It reveals whether we trust life, whether we are afraid of losing, whether we organize with care or only react in panic, whether we treat money as a tool, a burden, a secret, or a source of identity. This video is not about magical formulas to become rich overnight. It is about removing unnecessary energetic confusion from your home and inviting a healthier, more peaceful relationship with money. Because prosperity in a Buddhist sense is not only about accumulation, it is about sufficiency, clarity, steadiness, good judgment, responsible care, a mind that is not enslaved by fear or greed. And one of the simplest ways to support that kind of prosperity is to become more conscious of the places where money rests. So now, let us go slowly through 7 places you should avoid keeping money in your home. Not to become superstitious, but to become more aware. Namo Amitabha Buddha. To Part 2. Never store money under the mattress. One of the most common places people hide money is under the mattress. To many, this feels practical. It feels secret. It feels safe. It feels old-fashioned in a comforting way, as if hidden cash under the bed gives a person some immediate control over uncertainty. But from a deeper energetic and psychological perspective, this is one of the worst places to keep money. Why? Because the bed is meant to be a place of rest, surrender, healing, and renewal. When you place money under the mattress, you mix the energy of rest with the energy of worry. You bring financial tension into the very place where your body is supposed to soften and let go. Instead of sleeping over peace, you begin sleeping over hidden fear, and fear matters. Many people store money under the mattress not from wisdom, but from distrust. Distrust of the system, distrust of loss, distrust of uncertainty, distrust of the future. That hidden action sends a message to the subconscious. Money must be hidden because life is not safe. And when the subconscious absorbs that message repeatedly, a person may feel financially burdened even while having money. There is also a symbolic weight here. Money under the mattress is literally under pressure. Every night, your body presses down on it. Symbolically, that reflects compressed energy. Money becomes associated with heaviness, secrecy, and psychological strain rather than healthy flow and responsible stewardship. In Buddhist language, clinging creates suffering, and hiding money under the mattress often comes from a form of clinging, an attempt to hold tightly to security without cultivating true inner stability. But no matter how much money is under the bed, if the mind is still driven by fear, there will be no real peace. The place where you sleep should not become a silent chamber of financial anxiety. It should be clear, breathable, and energetically clean. So if you keep money under the mattress, take it out. Place it somewhere cleaner, more intentional, and more stable. Let the bed return to its proper role, supporting rest, not carrying hidden tension. A peaceful mind makes wiser financial decisions than a fearful one, and wise financial decisions create far more stability than secret hiding ever can. Namo, Amitabha Buddha. Part 3. Never store money in the kitchen or bathroom. The third and fourth places to avoid are the kitchen and the bathroom. These two rooms seem very different, but in energetic symbolism, both are poor environments for storing money. Let us begin with the kitchen. Many people think the kitchen is a good place because it is the heart of the home. It is where food is prepared, where nourishment happens, where family gathers. But in symbolic and energetic terms, the kitchen is also a place of heat, transformation, and constant consumption. Money kept in the kitchen can unconsciously become linked with being used up. It sits near food, fuel, daily consumption, and repetitive household outflow. Instead of feeling stable and protected, it can begin to feel mentally associated with draining, spending, replacing, and depletion. There is also the issue of storage spaces in kitchens. Many cabinets are dark, closed, humid, and forgotten. Money kept there often takes on the quality of being out of sight, inactive, and energetically stagnant. Now consider the bathroom. This is perhaps even more important. The bathroom is a place of cleansing, release, elimination, and disposal. It is where the body lets go of what it no longer needs. It is where water carries things away. That is exactly why it is not a good place to keep money. Even if you are not superstitious, the symbolism is strong. To place money in a space associated with flushing, draining, washing away, and waste can quietly shape how the mind relates to financial stability. It may reinforce a sense that money disappears too quickly, slips away, or never stays. Bathrooms are also often emotionally low-energy spaces. They are functional, private, and associated with bodily purification. That has its place. but it is not the kind of energy most people want to connect with resources, savings, or long-term stability. In Buddhist living, every room has a function, and harmony comes when functions are respected. The bed should support rest. The kitchen should support nourishment. The bathroom should support cleansing. And money should be stored in a place that reflects clarity, care, stability, and respect. So if you keep money in a kitchen cabinet, a jar near food, inside a bathroom drawer, behind the mirror, or worse, in hidden spaces associated with moisture and drainage, it is wise to move it. Not because disaster is guaranteed, but because your financial life deserves a cleaner field of intention. Money should not be symbolically cooked, consumed, flushed, or forgotten. It should be treated with order, care, and calm. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Part 4. Never store money near electronics or in a work desk drawer. The next places to avoid are near electronic devices and inside work desk drawers. Let us start with electronics. Televisions, routers, microwaves, computers, sound systems, chargers, screens. Modern homes are full of them. They create speed, stimulation, attention fragmentation, and constant mental activity. Whether or not one wants to speak in terms of vibrational fields, it is obvious that electronics shape the atmosphere of the mind. They agitate attention. They invite distraction. They accelerate thought. They often pull us toward comparison, urgency, consumption, and overstimulation. So if money is stored close to electronics, what begins to happen symbolically? Money starts living in an atmosphere of restlessness. Instead of being connected to groundedness, patience, and careful stewardship, it becomes mentally linked with noise, speed, impulsive decisions, and consumption-driven energy. This can quietly affect how a person spends, thinks, and plans. Now consider the work desk drawer. At first, this sounds reasonable. It is accessible, organized, close at hand. But a work desk is also a place of pressure, deadlines, problem-solving, and mental strain. It is often where stress accumulates. When money is constantly kept in this environment, it can become psychologically linked to tension, work overload, crisis solving, and mental fatigue. Instead of symbolizing peace and support, it begins to symbolize burden. That matters. Because if money always lives in a field of stress, your relationship with money may gradually become stressed as well. Chatun, you stop feeling that money is something to manage wisely, and begin feeling that money is something to survive, chase, fix, or worry about. Buddhist teachings repeatedly remind us that the mind takes shape through repetition. If every encounter with money happens in stressful environments, then money may no longer feel like a resource. It may feel like pressure. So what should you do? Avoid keeping money near televisions, microwaves, Wi-Fi hubs, entertainment centers, or digital clutter. Avoid treating your work drawer like the emotional center of your finances. Instead, choose a place that reflects steadiness. Clean, intentional, protected, calm, not overly exposed, not emotionally charged. Because the way money rests affects the way the mind relates to it. And a peaceful relationship with money is one of the greatest forms of financial wisdom. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Part 5. Never store money in the attic, garage, or other forgotten spaces. The next places to avoid are the attic, the garage, and other forgotten or transitional spaces in the home. These are very common storage areas because they feel hidden and practical. People think, no one will look there, or it is out of the way, or I rarely open this place, so it must be safe. But symbolically, these spaces carry exactly the wrong message for money. Let us begin with the attic. The attic is often where forgotten things go. Old boxes, past identities, unused possessions, delayed decisions, dust, sentimental clutter, things we are not ready to face but not ready to release. So what does it mean to put money there? It means placing financial energy in a zone of neglect, memory, distance, and inaccessibility. Money in the attic becomes out of reach. It becomes associated with forgetting. It becomes mentally elevated beyond direct relationship and practical care. Now the garage. The garage is a place of transition. Things come and go. Vehicles move in and out. It is not usually a place of stillness. It is a place of motion, tools, temporary storage, waiting, and unfinished business. That is not the kind of symbolism you want for money. If money is placed in a space of constant transition, the subconscious may quietly connect it with impermanence. It comes in, it goes out. It never fully settles. It never fully roots. This can mirror the experience many people already have. Money seems to arrive, but not remain. Again, this is not magic. It is symbolic psychology. It is environmental meaning. It is mindful placement. If you want your finances to feel stable, then do not give them a symbolic home in instability. Do not put them among dust, forgotten boxes, emotional leftovers, car movement, household transition, and spaces that are rarely treated with reverence. Money deserves a place that says, "You belong, you are seen, you are cared for, you are protected, you are not forgotten, you are not temporary chaos." When you store money in hidden transitional zones, you may also be revealing an unconscious avoidance of fully relating to your finances. You may want your money safe, but not actually present. Protected, but not consciously integrated into your life. That is something worth reflecting on. Sometimes we hide money the same way we hide emotions. We want it somewhere out of sight because we do not want to feel the responsibility of meeting it with awareness. But Buddhist practice invites the opposite. Not avoidance, but conscious relationship. So bring your finances down from the attic, out from the garage, out from the forgotten corners, and into a place that reflects care, not avoidance. That alone can begin to change the energy. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Part 6. Where should you keep money instead? After hearing all of this, a natural question arises. If these places are not suitable, then where should money be kept? The answer is simpler than many people expect. Money should be kept in a place that reflects order, calm, care, accessibility, cleanliness, respect, stability. This could be a secure box, a dedicated drawer, a small safe, or a private cabinet in a peaceful room, especially one associated with calm and clarity rather than stress or consumption. The space should be clean, not crowded, not humid, not chaotic, not spiritually neglected. It does not need to be luxurious. It just needs to feel intentional. Natural materials can help. Wood, ceramic, fabric linings, because they often create a sense of groundedness and warmth. Some people also like keeping money near wholesome symbols, such as a healthy green plant, a simple affirmation, or an object that represents dignity and gratitude rather than greed. The point is not to turn money into something sacred in a materialistic sense. The point is to stop treating it carelessly, because how you keep money says a lot about how you meet it inwardly. If you keep it in fear, you reinforce fear. If you keep it in disorder, you reinforce disorder. If you keep it with mindfulness, gratitude, and clarity, you support a healthier financial consciousness. You can even create a small ritual of awareness when storing money. Nothing dramatic. Just a pause. a breath, a moment of gratitude, a simple intention like, may this be used wisely. May my finances be guided by clarity and sufficiency. May I use resources without greed, fear, or confusion. These are powerful not because they magically attract money, but because they shape consciousness. And shaped consciousness leads to shaped decisions. That is how prosperity becomes more stable. Not through fantasy, but through repeated harmony between mind, action, and environment. So do not only ask, where should I hide money? Ask, what kind of relationship with money am I practicing every day? Because that question matters far more. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Conclusion. Money needs a clean place, but even more, a clear mind. So after reflecting on these 7 places where money should not be stored, we come back to something deeper than placement. Yes, where you keep money matters, but more important than the location itself is the consciousness behind it. A peaceful financial life is not built only by hiding money carefully. It is built by relating to money with clarity, mindfulness, and non-fear. If your home is chaotic, your mind often becomes more chaotic. If your storage habits are driven by fear, your finances often begin to feel fearful. If your environment teaches hiddenness, disorder, instability, and neglect, then your relationship with money may slowly take on the same shape. That is why this teaching matters. Not because Buddhism wants you to obsess over symbols, but because Buddhism asks you to become conscious. Conscious of what you keep. Conscious of where you keep it. Conscious of what your habits reveal. Conscious of the quiet messages your environment is sending to your heart. Money should not live under pressure, not under the mattress, not in places of decay, not in places of drainage, not in places of chaos, not in the forgotten corners of your life. It should be held the way the mind should be held, with steadiness, with order, with awareness, with care. And perhaps that is the most important message of all. The real prosperity you seek will not come only from where you place your cash. It will come from the way you shape your inner life. If you cultivate gratitude, your financial decisions change. If you cultivate calm, your relationship with money becomes more stable. If you reduce clutter, both your home and mind breathe more easily. If you bring awareness to where your resources go, wisdom begins to replace anxiety. That is the Buddhist way. Not blind fear, not magical thinking, but clear seeing. So if this message touched you, begin simply. Look around your home. Notice where your money rests. Move it if needed. Clean the space. Make it intentional. Let the place where money stays reflect the kind of financial life you wish to grow. Clean, balanced, secure, respectful, and free from unnecessary confusion. Because when the space becomes clearer, the mind often does too. And when the mind becomes clearer, wiser prosperity can finally begin. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, I choose peace, clarity, and wise prosperity. Welcome again to Buddha's teachings. Please subscribe to follow the next topics. Namo Amitabha Buddha.